Everyone. So I am taking Facebook Live questions and recording them and then sharing them with you in this vlog format. And I got a question recently from Laura, and she asked, I saw your Facebook post about sending in questions, and I had a question regarding your post that included a prayer during the pandemic. You mentioned going to the 5D. What does this 5D mean? I'm guessing a spiritual awakening, but I just would like to know what it means for both an individual and world perspective. Great question. So 5-dimensional consciousness. So we live in a 3-dimensional world, right? And what's happening now is, yes, we are going through a planetary shift, a spiritual awakening, and we're moving from these 3D energies into the 4 and 5D energies and ways of showing up in this world and operating. And so really an ascension process is, the energies on the planet are shifting, and there are many of us who have incarnated to be leaders and helping to wake up the planet, to raise the consciousness of the planet back to a higher place of love and peace and truth. And so you've heard the term light workers, I'm sure. These people who are here as our guides and teachers to do, our part in helping with this process. We are called light workers, also star seeds. That's a more recent term. And a star seed is anyone who, again, feels drawn to doing this work, who is wanting to be of service to others, to work in any form of healing modalities. And it doesn't have to be spiritual in nature. It's just that intention to want to serve others, do good, and spread more light and love. And so anyone who is not being called to that is more likely to be called an earth seed. Basically, it's one who's just more or less stuck in the reincarnation process, who's coming back into lifetime after lifetime to work on themselves and their own karmic lessons rather than serving others primarily. And so anyone who's, listening to me right now or listening to anyone for that matter talk about all of this would roll their eyes and think that I'm completely crazy. Because this doesn't resonate with them, and that's okay. So let's get back to this. So we're going from a 3D to 5D ways of operating in this world right now. And so 3-dimensional consciousness is all about separation. Life is hard. It's a struggle. We learn through pain and struggle and conflict. There's scarcities and war. It's masculine over feminine. Okay, that's really outdated and old energies. 4D is where we start to have an awareness of energy. We start to open up, awaken a consciousness and a connection that we're more than our bodies, right? And that we co-create our reality. We start seeing our own divinity and our power to positively or negatively for that matter, but influence our life's path. And there's a lot of power and freedom in knowing that your future is not set in stone. You are here as an active co-creator to design your destiny. And then 5D is, let's go back. So 4D, this is where you start to create vision boards and do affirmations and, whatever it is, tools, spiritual tools that help you get more intentional to co-create whatever that future reality or destiny is that you desire. And then 5D is where we make that leap into unity consciousness. It's realizing and remembering that I am one with all, the oneness, right? We all have the divine spark within us, the divinity within. And this is really operating from more of your soul versus your ego. And so with 5D, you start to see your world around you is the mirror of what you're putting out there, your energy, your vibration. And so the goal in 5D consciousness is really about stabilizing your vibration in a place of love and light and joy and peace and truth, and removing all limitation and all judgment and all of the lower tendencies that we have that really stem from our ego. And then life becomes a wild, amazing ride when you're operating from that 4D consciousness. It's your higher self is a more simpler way to put that. And it's more about your vibration than making vision boards at this point. Mainly because you don't have to bother with vision boards and affirmations because you are embodying that vibration, okay? Your being, your vibration then creates your reality. And this is where miracles and magic become everyday normal activities, and manifestations become almost instant because you are embodying and living that vision board, so to speak. So when this is, okay, so as we're making the shift from 3D to 4D to 5D, the ego has to shift up into 5D, and the ego will fight it, okay? This is our human self, our lower self sometimes. We sometimes fight it by avoiding distractions, making ourselves busy, getting caught up in drama, attaching on to anything that numbs our feelings, addictions. And so the ego has to go through a death, so to speak. And then as we move into this 5D consciousness and fully embody it, this is us moving into divine faith and trust. And again, this is where all the magic exists. So to give you an example, 5D is where I or any other person doing this work operates from when we do readings. When we tap in to spirit, source, higher guides, angels' guidance, you are shifting out of three-dimensional awareness into the higher heavens, the astral planes, the higher heavens, into that 5D energy, okay? And the key is to really bring that into every part of our day, not just when we're doing spiritual work or readings. And so really what's going on is in this world right now, our egos are getting shaken up. Our world is getting shaken up. The three-dimensional existence is being transformed and uprooted. And life as we know is changing rapidly. And that's where all these uncertainties and insecurities and fears and anxiety, that it makes perfect sense. It's all coming up. But there's so many gifts in this because we have to break it up to have that breakthrough, right? And so really what I would say is it's very intense, yes, but there's a way to move through this with grace and ease. And really what it comes down to is reminding you to get back in alignment with your soul, with your higher self. And as you do that, you basically trump your ego, okay? It's going to be there. It's that chatter in your mind that's going to be questioning and doubting and feeling separate and alone. That's okay. Just don't give it energy. Acknowledge it, but then shift your focus again to your higher self, to your soul. And you can do that again through prayer and meditation, as I always say. If you can simply pray and ask to have Source, God, heal your mind of all fearful thinking, right? And to help you see and be through divine eyes, okay, which is all love, you will feel a shift. And you might have to do this many times a day. But, that's okay. Just every time it comes up for you, just pause and pray and thank your guides for helping you to shift out of fear and into faith. And ask for signs. Ask for flow, ask for synchronicity, okay, to validate that you're on the right track and that you're not alone and that they're with you. And the ego may doubt it, which it often does, the mind, right? But that's okay. But focus on how you feel, okay? Because your feelings, again, as I've said many times, are your truth. Okay, feelings don't lie. That is your guidance. And if you're feeling calm and you're feeling something resonates, you're feeling truth, okay, then you know it is. And then you have to trust the signs. And the more you do this, the more Spirit will work with you on building that divine faith and trust to help you gracefully move through your ascension process. I will be speaking more to this in future vlogs, so always check back. But until then, I wish you brightest blessings and all love.